Welcome to today's podcast. My name is Trey Langford, founder of Build Idaho, and I'm excited to bring you Jon Jensen, my cohort today.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Tell us a little about what can we expect in today's episode.
Today, we reveal how a giant furniture company like RC Willey is affected by the real estate market, and how the real estate market actually affects a company like RC Willey. And with us is Jon Jensen.
Well, hello.
Thanks for having us today. Thanks for being with us today. So I guess just introduce yourself.
Jon Jensen. I've been with RC Willey. This is my 34th year.
Oh my gosh.
I started when I was 12, obviously.
Oh my gosh.
No, I was in my early 20s. But been with RC Willey a long time. I actually opened this store, 25 years ago.
25 years ago.
25 years ago, you took that corner and did that?
Yeah, for a few years. And then I moved to Nevada and tried to duplicate a couple stores in Las Vegas and Reno.
Very cool, very cool. So tell us a little bit about corporate RC Willey. What does that look like, corporate RC Willey? Who owns it? What's the deal?
Well, RC Willey's been in business for 92 years.
Wow.
Whoa.
Long time.
Yeah.
And RC Willey was actually a person. His name was Rufus Call Willey, and so you can know why he goes by RC, right?
Rufus Call.
But anyway, he started the business in rural Syracuse, Utah, 92 years ago, and now our business is based in Salt Lake. That's where our corporate offices are. Yeah. But in the mid-90s, we were purchased by Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett's company. So we're part of the Warren Buffett conglomeration.
So give us a great Warren Buffett story.
Well, Warren, it's surprisingly how rich he is. He's pretty accessible, and I actually have met him twice at some of our grand openings. And when I was grand opening our Reno store.
In what year?
This was in 2005.
Okay.
And when we were grand opening the Reno store, I went and his assistant had called and said, "Hey, coming to Reno, love to talk to students when I'm there. And so would you be willing to reach out to the University of Nevada at Reno?" And so I called the dean of the business school and I told him that Warren Buffett wanted to speak to his students, and it felt like it was crickets on the other side of the phone. and finally he gets back on. He goes, "Sorry, I just had to pick myself up off the floor." He goes, "You just made my day." No, my week. No, probably my life. And anyway, it was wonderful. We had news coverage there and everything, and it was kind of an auditorium type stadium. There was probably 500 people there watching him and asking him questions and stuff. And I actually drove him there in my minivan. I went and picked him up.
A minivan?
And I had to clean the half-eaten hot dog over the back with my kids and stuff. But very, very down to earth. And I was wearing that time I was wearing a bow tie. And as I was wearing my bow tie, he goes, "Is that real?" And I said, "Yeah, I tied my own bow ties." And he goes, "Will you teach me how to do that?" And so I taught Warren Buffett how to tie a bow tie. And so it probably didn't stick because I never see him in a bow tie.
Now he's never ever worn a bow tie again. Right. Because he has to wear a tuxedo for the bow tie probably.
No problem, no worries. Yeah,
clip on.
You never remember. Right?
Well, you said you opened up the one here 25 years ago. So, 25 years ago, that was no man's land.
Right.
So tell me about, do you know the story of why they chose that location and all the things?
Well, we wanted a close proximity to a freeway. We're always looking for more closer to communities where homes are being built and so forth. And it was actually a good deal. If you notice that piece of land that we're on there on the corner of Franklin and Eagle, it's kind of a hole.
It needed a lot of dirt work when they did it.
Yeah, we had to do some dirt work. It was a hole. There was a barn that was actually on that property, and at the time we had an offer on that property, and we looked a block north, which is get onto Fairview, where Shopko, where now actually the marketplace,
right,
Albertsons is, and that piece of property was like a fourth more. And we'll just stick with
just
the
enough
other
to
one.
Say no.
Just
we need to go save the money over here.
And we were wondering. I was glad to find that piece of property. In fact, here's a kind of a unique story. If you ever go into our store and go into our mountain retreat area, which is our cabin type furniture,
to the left.
There is a barn door that we've hung on the wall, and it is actually the barn that was on that property.
How fun is that?
That's awesome.
When we bought it. So it's still in our store 25 years later.
That's awesome. That is just terrific.
So.
Like when Tell us your relationship with builders, because I know that you've got a relationship with builders out there. Somebody builds a Tresidio home or a Biltmore home, and they'll come in and see you, won't they?
Yeah. Well, we do have some partnerships. We're supplying a lot of the appliances for a lot of these builders around town. We're very competitive with the other ones. We have probably the best stock. We have from high end to low end. We have the Wolf Sub-Zero, Thermador, Monogram stuff, plus entry level from Frigidaire and Amana and Maytag and Whirlpool and all that stuff. So we have some great relationships with builders, and we supply appliances for many of them for their homes.
No, what I really want to know too is the new trends. Obviously you're so tied to the real estate market that when we have a little bit of dip in the market, do you feel a little bit of dip?
Yeah,
there too.
I think so. What we need mostly is just people to move. That's what we need. Whether they move into an apartment or to a new house or whatever. As they move and their spaces change, they either need to downsize and get something new to fit their space, or they need to fill other rooms with furniture and so forth. But obviously, when we're tied to supplying a lot of these new homes with everything from appliances, and we do a lot of flooring for a lot of these guys too. And so we feel a little bit of downturn, but as some of these builders have kind of pivoted to multifamily dwellings and to big apartment complexes, sometimes we're getting those too. So we're supplying appliances for big apartment complexes these days.
So what's the hottest trend that you're seeing now?
I think you probably went to the parade, and we've noticed this too. The indoor-outdoor spaces where these flex spaces, and so we're selling. Back 10 years ago or 20 years ago, maybe if you bought patio furniture, it maybe was a picnic table that you'd have outside,
a glass top table with the iron.
And now you got sectionals, you got reclining outdoor furniture, you have these deep seating things with fire pits, and all of these things. And we're selling a lot of patio furniture for these flex spaces. If you go to these places, they'll open up the big doors, and during the spring and fall, you're going to have that as a whole living area. And so forth, and so that's a big trend. I think these indoor-outdoor spaces, and we're able to supply that kind of stuff.
Of course,
So that's one good.
Give us an overview of who is a target customer for RC Willey, and what are some of the bigger products that you tend to distribute or sell?
Well, probably people look for comfort. And they look for their home to be. We found this in the pandemic for sure. Yeah. As a furniture company, you couldn't travel, and so might as well make your home be a great place. And so, everybody wants to sleep well, so we sell a lot of mattresses. Yeah. Everybody wants to have a comfortable place to sit after a hard day's work, and sit down in a nice comfy chair or a nice sectional. This power reclining, almost everything. You can get anything that power reclines, including these headrests that move, and you got phone chargers in these things with USB and so forth. And so a lot of people do that. And of course, they want to be entertained as well. So we sell a lot of TVs.
Big TVs.
Big TVs. We've got over 5 TVs that are over 100 inches on our floor, and that's unique.
100 inches is how many feet?
7. Almost 7.
I don't even know. Yeah. I love the inches part.
It's big is what it is. It's big.
Size matters.
So what would you say the next high-tech move that people are making?
It's interesting that high tech is coming into everything from appliances to even to grills and stuff.
Grills.
We've got these new pizza ovens that have exact temperature controls on them. And you can cook a pizza in 90 seconds.
I want a pizza.
And they are fantastic. In fact, we demo them quite regularly. About 2 weeks ago, I cooked 80 pizzas during a Saturday, and people could come up and sample them and so forth. But, there's technology in almost every area. You get into the mattresses, and you got adjustable bases. It used to just be for people that were elderly, had bad backs. And now, anybody can get an adjustable base and improve their life. and you've got remote controls, you've got sleep rhythm that you can. So there's technology in almost all of this stuff, which is pretty cool.
Is there anything that's surprising to you in terms of technology?
I've always been the tech guy. I grew up at RC Willey selling electronics, because that was my passion and so forth. But I think as things kind of evolve, you used to have to buy this huge, big old stereo, with the rack system and the big old speakers. You probably had one.
Yeah,
right?
I did.
Anyway, now you can get with your phone. You can take your music anywhere, but they're introducing a lot of these what they call party speakers. And these speakers,
what kind of speaker?
It's called a party speaker.
Party, got it.
And you've got everything from little portable ones to ones that are on wheels and have like the handle like your carry-on luggage. You can take them anywhere, and you can take them out onto your patio, and you basically got a concert quality sound. There's some lights and stuff like that, but you can do all of these things right from your phone to these party speakers. And we've got brands like JBL and Sony and Sonos and all these brands that are that's what they've morphed into, because people like the flexibility of moving the speakers around. But
just so you know, I actually have one of those in my boat. It's the best.
It's the party speaker.
Yeah, it is the party speaker.
boat.
Yeah, it's a party boat. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
What other lifestyle things are really popular to store? We talked about outdoor furniture. We've talked about speakers. Anything else that's really popular for lifestyle?
You'd be surprised, but we brought in pinball machines. And you say, why is RC Willey selling pinball machines? And we brought these in. These are the real deal. They're made by Stern, and if you go to a place that has a real pinball machine, that's what they are. And they start at about $7,000. That's how much.
Whoa!
And the majority of them, the real nice premiums that are limited editions and so forth, they're $10,000.
And this is pinball, not arcade.
This is a total. It's not a half size. It's a pinball, but it has, they have computers in them, and they're themed. They have to, so we got everything from Jaws to Stranger Things to Star Wars to Goo Goo Dolls, Foo Fighters, Iron Maiden. And we have all these things. And I go, it's a gimmick. But we've been having pinball tournaments, and people come in and play.
Pinball tournaments, John. We're in.
And it's amazing. We sell about $50,000 worth of pinball a month. And so forth.
All of us 50-somethings are like, hey.
You get a man cave, come get a pinball machine.
Yeah.
But we're the exclusive dealer in all of Idaho for Stern pinball.
That's cool.
That
I'm glad
is
I asked
awesome.
that question.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
That is cool.
I want to give you guys a selfless plug right now, because I have known so many people that have worked for RC Willey over the years. It's a great place to work, right?
No doubt. We have many people that this is their career, as they go in and sell furniture and appliance electronics. And I've got guys that don't want to leave either. I've got guys that are well beyond retirement age that are just continuing to go.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
A guy I used to do business with. I'm in there and seen him recently, but he's like the music man.
He's still there.
My gosh.
The music doctor.
Yeah.
Lonnie Noble.
Fantastic.
The music doctor.
Yeah. He's just super smart. Marketing himself inside of RC Willey.
He's a good friend. I hired him to work for me as an electronics sales guy 25 years ago.
Wow.
He now sells furniture, but he's been there forever, and he's just he's a great salesperson, great follow-up, great personality. People love him.
So if there's, I'd say, I want to know, I think the listeners want to know, what's one thing that you guys do better than anybody else in town?
I would say that we have the best available stock and the widest variety to choose from. We used to have a tagline called "Your Home, Your Way."
I remember that. Right.
And anyway, that kind of embodied a lot of what we did, because if I gave each of you $10,000 to go into RC Willey and buy something, if I did it to 10 people, go get somewhere, all of you would get something different.
We should test that theory.
I'll give you the 10, you give me the 10, and we'll go give it a whirl.
But everybody could get something different, and we have all tastes, from traditional to modern to casual in between. We've got high end to low end to in between, and because everybody's different, everybody has a different style, and you can make it your own. And we feel the best thing is if you go in to somebody's home and you say, hey, I love your furniture. And they say, well, we got it at RC Willey. You can go into the neighbors and see completely different furniture. Say, I love your furniture. And where'd you get it? RC Willey. Well, that's different than the neighbor's house.
Right.
And so I think that's what we do a little bit differently. We stock about 80% of what you see on the floor.
Oh, wow.
That you can get it delivered in days instead of months.
Yeah.
You know, one of the sections that you have in your store that I actually gravitate to because I'm kind of cheap. You got a back room that's kind of like the scratch and dent.
Scratch and dents clearance center, you know, and we do a lot of deliveries, and furniture's not perfect. It's not made by machines. It's made by hand most of the time. It's made out of wood in many cases, and scratches happen and discontinues happen. So we have a great, it's better than any garage sale because it's brand new. And we have great deals back there. We used to do a parking lot sale, and we still do those occasionally. But we expanded our clearance area that it's almost like an indoor parking lot sale all the time.
It's a large area back there, and I've found some great deals back there.
I buy a lot of stuff from the clearance.
What is RC Willey's distribution? Just curious.
Well, this store in Idaho, we deliver all the way. We deliver to Western Oregon quite a bit, all the way up McCall and that area. We go all the way down to Burley from the store, but we sell to Southwest Idaho as well, but those deliveries would come out of our big distribution center in Salt Lake City.
All right.
So we all do all of southern Idaho, and then of course we have stores in Northern California and Nevada, Reno and Las Vegas, and all over in Utah. So we deliver everything from Kingman, Arizona, all the way on the north end to McCall and to the west out there in Northern California.
Somebody get it delivered to them.
Yeah.
Question: What do you think the most popular items people? I mean, we talked about a lot of things today, but what's the most popular things that people buy there?
Probably appliances, mattresses, motion, and TVs.
What does motion mean?
That any kind of furniture that moves.
Oh,
yeah,
And
electronic.
you got the footrest, you
I knew
got
that.
the
I don't want
recliners.
listeners to know that.
Those things, and they love to be comfortable. And, and so forth.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
What is the funniest thing that you've seen at this RC Willey?
Yeah, at the store. Warren Buffett's story was awesome. Our listeners love that. But in the store.
This is kind of more of a mistaken perception of what happened. And so at the time, it wasn't all that funny, but now it's funny. So I had to, as a general manager, I tend to get to talk to the customers that are either unsatisfied or unhappy about something. And this particular gentleman came in. He wasn't a customer per se. He came in to basically chew me out because he was crossing the Cloverdale overpass. And he saw one of our trucks that had stopped and put their flasher lights on and got out, and and he saw them take a mattress and put it to the side of the road, get back in their truck and drive away. So he took pictures of it, like, look at these guys, they're throwing mattresses out the side of their store, and I'm going, that doesn't make any sense. I go, well, I'll find out what happened there. He had a picture of the truck, he had a picture of the guys, he had a picture of all of these things. He was coming down to basically tell on them.
Did he have a picture of himself?
No, he did. But anyway, let me look right into this. And I knew who the driver was, of course, and I called the driver and I go, hey, can you tell me what happened? This happened probably this morning. And he goes, yeah, we were driving over the Cloverdale overpass and there's a mattress in the middle of the road, just sitting there. And we thought somebody lost that out of the back of their truck. They're moving somewhere and so forth. But we thought, hey, this is a danger. They put their flashers on, took it out of the middle of the road and put to the side of the road because, well, somebody's going to realize they lost their mattress and they're going to retrace their steps and go back. And so really what you were doing was saving the public from getting in an accident and saving somebody's merchant.
Clearly.
And so I got that information. I called this gentleman because I told him I would. And I just say, hey, this is really what happened. And you just happened to catch the tail end of it.
Perception.
With the pictures.
Yeah.
And I go, so in reality, these guys were heroes because they saved the day. And he goes, oh, okay.
Perception.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask you this, in a weird way. But I want to know, and I think the listeners would want to know, what are you most proud of at RC Willey? What makes you the most proud?
Probably that we provide jobs. I've got 250 employees.
Really, all full time?
All full time. Well, I have a few part time, but mostly full time because we have a delivery operation and a warehouse operation there, as well as sales and customer support and service and I think. I've been telling people for years that businesses exist and at RC Willey in particular, we exist for 3 reasons. Number one, to provide a product or service to the communities in which we live.
Right.
And I really think that the Treasure Valley is a better place to live because we're here, not because everybody will buy from us, but it makes competitors sharper. It gives more opportunity for choice.
It's a fun place to just go.
It's just a place to go and hang out. And so we exist for that. We also exist to provide jobs. And I'm very proud of the fact that we pay well. We're not even close to the minimum wage. Our minimum entry level price or wage is very, very good, and many of our positions are career positions. This is where people stay, and they made their career at RC Willey.
You've been there for 25. Who's at this location? Who's been there the longest?
As far as this, we've had several.
Trey. It's him.
Me. But we hired a few salespeople right off the bat, and they're still with us.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that we're right here in the valley.
Something.
But then the last reason why we exist is we exist to make a profit, but we only want to really make a profit so we can do the other 2 things. Yeah. Keep offering a product and
Very
service
well
and
said.
keep offering jobs.
Very well said, John. Very well said. Trey, you got one last question. I want to make it the best question you've got out of you today.
You're a business guy.
Yeah.
You've got a big store. What do you believe is the most important thing about being in business and being a general manager? What have you learned over the years?
I've learned that for my people, I manage by walking around and let them know that, I'm in it with them. And this is a way that we want to continue to grow our brand. And we want to give people great experiences. We want them to, we're not selling the stuff that you don't want to buy. Nobody wants to have to buy insurance, but you have to. But if you save your pennies, you usually save them to improve your home.
Get a 100-inch TV.
2 of them. An electric recliner and a refrigerator to keep your food and drinks cold, and you're good to go.
That's cool.
But I think. Being a general manager, I want to make sure that people have a great experience in my store, and that we've made their life somehow better by doing what we do. Now, we're not perfect. We make a lot of mistakes, but I love the fact that here in Idaho, we get a lot of people who give us a chance.
Yeah.
If we make a mistake, they give us a chance to make it right, and we do every effort to make it right. And as a general manager, that's probably what I do, is try to make things right when we make mistakes.
Yeah.
We make plenty.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for the clientele here and the people here. It's just a great place to live and to work.
Yeah.
And that's why I came back. I was in Nevada for 9 years.
Ooh,
and
gross.
came back. So, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's cool. Well, thank you. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just going to conclude, but do you have something to add before we get?
No, I was going to conclude.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. If you haven't been to RC Willey, go check it out. If you need a pinball machine or outdoor furniture, it's a great place to check out as well. And we appreciate you checking us out today.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and share.